Hello, everybody. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. I'm joining you with an update on severe weather that is rolling its way through the eastern third of the United States. Numerous reports of very large hail, headache hail, and a few tornado reports across portions of the southern Great Lakes taking place as we speak. Now, we'll go over these storms. We'll talk about the storms that are working their way through right now, what the most recent threats are, and that all begins right now. Let's get right to it. We do have one active tornado warning right on the border between Tennessee and Kentucky. As you take a look, this is near the Jonesville area. The pink box that you see here, that is the tornado warned storm. Now, as we take a peek, let's go ahead and look at the single site radar data from the closest radar site here. And let me go ahead and put that up for us so we can get a look at some of the details with regards to the motion inside this particular storm. I'm seeing that the closest radar here, the Morristown area. So as this loads up, this storm here basically working its way off to the east. The latest from the National Weather Service office with regards to the storm's direction of movement and speed have it moving. It's basically an observed tornado, 1¼ inch diameter hail. It's moving east at 29 miles per hour with regards to the storm. Now, the storm prompting the tornado warning is likely right here where we see that little bite taken out of the storm. Let me move the text off. We'll get right down into there and we'll take a look at the spin inside the storm. But here you have a little notch or an inflow area, and there's no echoes inside there, and rotating columns of air that are violently rotating can spin the hail and rain outside of it, leaving a void in the radar data. Now let's go ahead and see if this is indeed the area of rotation that we're seeing when we switch over to some data here with regards to the velocity. So we're going to straight velocity data. We can see very bright greens next to very bright reds right here in that same spot. So that is indeed the area of spin in this storm. There is a tornado warning for all of this area, and the areas include Churches Hill, Surgeonsville, as well as up here near the Clinchport area, just off to the south and to the east of Jonesville. So this storm, again, it's right on the state boundary here. So we're looking at Tennessee on the south and up there toward Kentucky on the north side of this particular system. If you're in the path of this storm, make sure you're seeking shelter in that lowest floor of a sturdy structure. Get out of things like mobile homes, manufactured homes. You do not want to be in an RV or a camper in a tornado warning. They do not offer the kind of protection that you're looking for to give you and your family the best chance for surviving the storm. So again, an active tornado warning for this storm working its way right on the border with Kentucky and Tennessee right now, Pennington Gap and Point South. Now, we do have very stout thunderstorms here as we look up into the Kentucky area, the Corbin area, as well as Jackson, both under the gun for some storms making their way in that general direction. Look at this storm, 2-inch, knock you in the head kind of hail out there. That is some significant hail, gusts up to 60 miles per hour. This storm is moving east at 40 miles per hour and is moving right into Corbin. I do want to point out, see this little shape here? That is a bowing segment that's caused by outflow and very gusty straight line winds with that are associated with that storm. So if you're in the Corbin area, gusts of wind will likely be heading in your general direction. Those gusts will likely be pushing in from the west-northwest and moving to the southeast and east as we see that storm blow its way in. So some windy storms as well. Let's get up to the north here. We did get some reports of tornadoes that took place. Look at this down here. This is not far from the Dayton area. Let me move this over so we can all see. Just east of Indianapolis, this storm, a tornado was reported 2 miles east of Eaton. That happened at about 3:45 Central Time as we went through. Roofing was torn off a barn and other damage from a tornado near the intersection of Route 35. So that storm system is now on its way out, but we can take a look at the latest radar here. That's a terminal radar. Let's go ahead and take a look at some closer ones out here. More tornado warnings out not far from South Bend. This particular one happened at 3:58 Central Time, so that'd be close to 4, close to 5 East Coast time. There was a tornado by a trained spotter, and it definitely says it had hit some structures in that area. So a few tornadoes out there in parts of Indiana and points south, and active severe thunderstorm warnings as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the radar here right quite close as we highlight a couple of these cells here. Let's go to this radar here. Okay, so now what we're looking at is the different cells here. We can see Bowling Green as a storm working its way right into your area. There is an active thunderstorm warning in all of these yellow polygons, but the Bowling Green storm moving east at 32 miles per hour, 1-inch diameter hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds gusting in toward the Bowling Green area at this time. Notice it's not far from Grand Rapids as it's moving east, and again, that speed of movement, let's update us on that, is at 32 miles per hour. So let me give you a little bit of a tracking on this particular storm, as here is the leading edge of the hail core with this storm, and it's moving east at that 32 mile per hour clip. So we'll put it up at about 35 miles per hour. So Grand Rapids, it will be there about now. As you are looking towards Bowling Green by around 5:59 Central Time, 6:59 as we go out toward the East Coast time, it will be pushing into Bowling Green. So you can prepare for gusty winds and some very large hail potential from that storm. If it does continue with any intensity at all, it'll be after 6:15 before it makes its way through places like Pemberville, as well as the Woodville area. So that's a look at that particular storm. Let me clear out that track, and now let's go on to another storm out here near Tiffin. See the blues in this? This storm here could be capable of some significant hail just by seeing the reflectivities that high with this particular storm. Let's go ahead and take a look at the National Weather Service's warning. It's 1.25-inch diameter hail threat with that storm, 60-mile-per-hour gusts, and we're looking at that storm system moving northeast, about 25 miles per hour if we round it up. And it is working in that general direction of you folks in Tiffin. So if you're in Tiffin there, be prepared for a large hail-producing storm to work its way in your general direction. Oh, a new active tornado warning for this storm out here just to the south of the Hillsdale area. Let me see if I can get a little bit of a closer radar to this particular site. Let's go with this radar here. It may give us a better chance at see. So while this is loading up, the National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning for the Addison and Hudson areas and places south of Hillsdale for this storm. It is moving off to the northeast at only 20 miles per hour. It's a radar indicated tornado located fairly close to the Hillsdale area rather. So here's a look at the storm, and if we take a look at some of the velocities, the radar can look at the raindrops inside the cloud and see whether those raindrops are spinning. And where we see here is a little bright red next to some greens. So we have motion away from the radar in red and toward the radar in green. There is the couplet prompting the warning. We call that a couplet when a area in the storm is showing some significant chances of spin associated with it. Again, if you're in the path of this particular storm, moving northeast at only about 20 to 25 miles per hour, we'll go ahead and track where this rotating part of the storm is moving northeast, 25 miles per hour. We'll put it closer to the Addison area by the time we get to 6:24 Central Time. And I know some of you folks are not on Central Time as we look out to the east, but that is the time zone that I am in, and have the radar tuned to just one time zone to keep it simple. So a couple tornado warnings. We have another one out here. Look at this, South Bend, and the velocity data is still on. The radar here showing quite clearly that Cassopolis and on out towards Vidalia out there, seeing a rotating section of the storm, the greens next to the reds right here. And let's see what the Weather Service says about the movement of this particular tornadic storms. If you are in these areas, there is some shear in the environment tonight. And some of these storms are indeed producing tornadoes, and they have a history of producing tornadoes. As we take a look at the warned storm for the tornado warning in the Cassopolis area, we're looking at northeast movement, only 15 miles per hour. It's radar indicated tornado. It could be producing some hail as well. The location of the tornado is just outside of Cassopolis. Let me take a look at how far outside of town it is. There's the rotating couplet. There's Cassopolis, only 2 miles away. So moving at about 10 miles per hour, you just have minutes to seek shelter in an interior room on the lowest floor possible. And again, you want to get out of structures that are not sturdy and sound and into ones that are attached to the foundation, a well-built home. So get out of manufactured homes, mobile homes, RVs, and campers. Hey, if you're watching Hutch's Weather, let me know if you have a weather question here. I am looking for your chat. That storm also prompting the tornado warning is about 6.5 miles is all from Vandalia as that storm is progressing off to the northeast at this time. So a couple of active tornado warnings in the north there, not far from Michigan. In Michigan, we have a new one out. Well, that's the one on the Tennessee border out there as active storms continue across the nation's midsection. In the Kansas City area here, as we take a look in the western reaches of Missouri, we do have some stout storms here. We'll go back to the regular radar data here as opposed to the shear information and velocities. And we can see a very stout thunderstorm here that has prompted a severe thunderstorm warning. The flashing blue colors you see there are some significant hail with that storm. This storm here, the National Weather Service has Bull Cow as well as Rosendale as well as Fillmore all in the warned area. The warning is for upwards of 1-inch diameter hail. This storm is moving south, only 18 miles per hour. So moving in that general direction of you folks in Rosendale at this particular time. Prepare for sizable hail with that cell. Just outside of St. Joe, we do have a storm that's moving its way south as well towards Agency right now. That's pretty stout, not warned for at this particular time. Topeka, Kansas, seeing a strong but non-severe thunderstorm. That's what the blue box means there. That is a look at the severe weather that is working its way across the nation right now. Again, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. If you do have a question, we're watching for some inclement weather from the southeast as we have some tropical storm activity and a hurricane that could be heading toward the coast of Florida. Looking at these are called spaghetti plots, and here is the latest on the location of Helene as it's out in the Yucatan area, out by the peninsula. That is going to be taking a turn to the north. The lines that you see here are numerous forecast models, and many of those have those steering it right up into the general direction of Florida as we go through. Now, the official National Hurricane Center forecast, let me pull that up for you so you can take a look at the cone, and here is that. And you can see that explaining what the cone is. As we go farther out in time, the cone gets a little wider and a little wider because of uncertainty with regard to the storm. But models are indicating that this storm will take a curve to the right, heading northward, and it's looking like places like Dothan, Alabama, the panhandle of Florida near Tallahassee are right in the path of this storm. That is expected to increase in intensity as it goes to the north. So that is a look at the latest with regards to Helene as we head into the late week. It's looking like about a Thursday time frame on the models when it pushes up toward the panhandle of Florida. Again, meteorologist Hutch Johnson, it's a pleasure to have you joining me. If you're in the path of any of these severe storms tonight, the risk for severe weather will continue into the evening hours. Once we get past sunset, the risk for the tornadoes will wane a bit. Again, you can follow me on Facebook, Hutch Johnson, Chief Meteorologist, and you can also subscribe on my YouTube channel right here by hitting the subscribe button. I appreciate your likes. If you do have questions, I'll search for them here. And you can always get the latest on your weather interactive radar on hutchesweather.com, no matter where you are and no matter when you are.